Alright gamers, welcome. Today I have a new video for you, a new Aphelios video. Done a lot of testing on him since my last video and I've determined that Stormraiser is most definitely, almost certainly, his best first item. So I'm gonna have a few games for you today. We're gonna show off Stormraiser on Aphelios, how to play the lane phase, and how you can carry in the mid to late game with Stormraiser, and you'll see just how powerful that item is. Anyway, this matchup, obviously Aphelios into Smolder, Blitzcrank into Nami. Should be a pretty good matchup just because Blitzcrank is quite good into Nami. Not so much when he misses the hook like that, but I'm sure it'll come into play more later. So as Nami just walks up there, we're just gonna walk up and punish her. I don't know why she keeps trying to trade with autos against an Aphelios, so we just park the PTA there and massively stomp her in that trade. And now probably could be a little bit better position to make sure I'm able to follow up any Blitzcrank engage, but I mean either way. Like I said, Bliss pretty good into Nami, she's really vulnerable. She gets hit by a hook like that, it's actually pretty hard for her to survive, so we'll just start off with a free first blood just like that. Worth noting as well, if I hadn't punished her on the previous trade, then that might not have happened. She might have been tanky enough to survive, so pretty important that you punish just the smallest of enemy mistakes any single time that is possible. Clearly, here by the way, I don't have enough gold for my BF sword, so I don't even bother spending all of my gold. I just get a cull and I'm heading back into lane with 400 gold. I could have got like a dagger. Could have sold my potion and got 2 daggers actually. Could have done like, I don't know, a longsword, or could have got boots, could have got any number of things, but I don't do that because I want to save up for my BF sword. For me, if you can't get BF sword on your first base, it's pretty important that you compromise to try and make sure you can get BF sword on the next base, in my opinion. If you know that 100% certain you want to get an item that rushes BF sword, in this case Stormraiser. And so here as they finish shoving in this wave, we're just going to start freezing this a little bit. It's kind of risky for them to contest this because as you can see, I mean the Blitzcrank has pretty strong engage potential. Especially because Nami was warding there, so that was a bit silly of Smolder to try and contest the freeze by himself. Kind of messed up a combo there. I was trying to go for a double auto attack reset on my green Q, but I was a bit either too close range or it wasn't spaced out properly from a lost auto. But anyway, it's a double for us. Probably quite an unnecessary death from Blitzcrank there. I don't think he needed to die to Aatrox. Maybe he didn't notice him. But, yeah, I'm chilling. I got a double kill. Gonna place a ward there to make sure we don't die to Aatrox. Still managed to get the cannon, and we now have enough gold for a BF sword. So no matter what happens, I'm already chilling here. The game is going perfect for me. Alright, so here we've got Nami roaming towards mid lane. We have Blitzcrank in a position where he might be able to choose this Smolder. I've got flash if I need to get into range, but I clearly don't. So just Q him, knocks him out of his E, knocks him out of the wall. Kind of a silly interaction, but just another free kill for us there. Okay, so from here I'm pretty sure we have enough gold for the Stormraiser already, but the enemies are doing Drake. My Adrenaline wants to contest that, so we're gonna have to go do our best. So I place my sentry, it's gonna do a lot of damage to Aatrox, or not, because it actually got one shot, but I mean he's isolated there, so pretty easy kill for the Ivern. That's fine. See if I can kill the Caitlyn there. Well, I tagged her, but it wasn't quite able to pick me up the kill. But regardless, pretty successful fight, and that was even me without having spent my full gold lead, so game is certainly looking very good at the moment. And from here, we're just gonna probably just shove and base so I can finally get my item. Yeah, and so now we've got Stormraiser, and we've also got Ivern sitting in this brush. Not exactly trying to cheese, but they know he's there, but because we've got him helping. And just from the way they're walking forwards now, you can already imagine that's to mean Aatrox is around. I don't know why I walked so far forwards there, maybe that was a misclick. But anyway, thankfully we survive. I tried to get an AoE ult there, but unfortunately separated with Smolder having so much movement speed. Smolder flashes forwards, gonna be another easy kill for me. Now let's see if we can chase down the Nami. Remember, got Stormraiser, so I just hit the cannon. Gives me a big movement speed boost. Auto Q onto the Nami. Not quite able to finish her off, but I'm nearly getting purple Q. We use that. Boom, just happens to finish her off screen. Perfect. And so, I'm not sure if this is super well known, but Red Q is definitely the weapon that has the most synergy with Stormraiser, as you're about to see right now. So we get into a trade. I don't have my Stormraiser stacked, but I stack it really fast while I'm using Red Q onto Smolder. And unfortunately, because Red Q does delayed on-hit damage, that means that my Stormraiser damage only actually did 19 damage onto Smolder, when it's, you know, supposed to be 100 damage proc minus magic damage resistance. So that seems fairly unimpressive, but it's the fact that I stacked it from like almost nothing and then I just get the free movement speed boost while I'm chasing somebody down with Red Q that's pretty massive. And then afterwards, if you go back and watch how I was DPSing Nami there, I got another Stormwizard proc on her, and this one was full damage. And it's because the red Q fully procced my Stormwizard, and then procced it, and then stacked it even further, so that it was almost stacked again already when it was time to hit Nami. So that works that way with Fleet as well. Obviously also worked that way with the old Stormwizard. It's just a really nice interaction between Aphelios, red Q, and Stormwizard. Certainly not like the only reason why it's a good item on him, but it's just a nice bonus for whenever you have red Q. It's something to keep in mind. Like, you either get to stack the movement speed ridiculously fast whenever you need the movement speed, so it's like really good for chasing people down. Or even if you only care about the damage, like, okay, if you proc the thing during the red Q, it's not going to do much damage, but you can get 2 Stormwizard procs really easily in a single fight. So it's almost never going to hurt in that sense either. Well, this should be a free Drake for us. Let's see if Nami's gonna make a little silly here. She gets hooked, and yeah, just one shot. Bit unfortunate about the Blitzcrank ult picking that up, but either way, can't complain, it's free. Alright, and so after picking up that Drake, what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna go bot and just start pushing. I don't have that much gold to spend, so like right now I'm just happy to farm, happy to push as well. So like if we can see there's at least 2 people top. There's their top laner and their jungler. So we know right now they don't have solid numbers on bot lane. We also see Nami's currently mid. We also see Smolder there. He's completely alone right now, so we can just see what we can do. He's potentially about to get cut out by Blitz. Yeah, use my full combo on him. Probably a bit overkill, but I wanted to make absolutely sure that he wouldn't be able to escape. And yeah, since we last saw their jungler top side, probably it's not going to be too much they can do to defend this turret, so just going to push this as hard as we can. We've already got enough for the Infinity Edge, I believe. So no matter what, if I base here, I'm going to be really strong. It's going to be a tremendous Pro Spike. And yeah, we're able to pick up the turret. And now I'm sitting on enough gold for, I believe, Infinity Edge and also another crit cloak, so that'll put us up to 65% crit chance. And that is definitely going to be... Ooh. It's going to be a massive power spike. Although we're getting flanked by Aatrox here, see what we can do about that. Flanked by Nami as well. I might just have to run and abandon the Blitz here. Okay, looks like I'm going to be able to escape. Kind of surprising Aatrox didn't try and chase me there, but I was getting another Stormwizard proc. I also would have slowed him at the same time with purple, so I might have just been fine either way. But yeah, yet again, Blitzcrank manages to save my life by sacrificing himself. Alright, so Smolder trying to do some damage to the turret here. Probably not very smart. As you can see, I've got the Stormwizard, makes it super easy to chase him down. We've also got Ivern around, probably wouldn't even be needed. You could try and do this like hit and run tactic with me, because I don't have a ward to actually see him. But yeah, with Ivern around, it's just incredibly free. And as you can see, I'm doing insane amounts of damage right now. Right now, like the increased scaling of Aphelios more than makes up for any nerfs he received on PB. Or even from the lethality nerf they did recently to hotfix them. Okay, so we see Caitlyn walking up here. We got Blitzcrank in a position where you can just Blastcone in. We can wait and see. He's got Hex Flash, so we're going to start walking up now. Should be almost inevitable that she dies. And she's dead. It's probably worth noting, by the way, I am pre-made with this Blitzcrank. Is actually going to be my duo for all 3 of the games. I think it's going to be 3 games that we showed today. We didn't have voice comms or anything, but we have been playing together for years. Probably like 8 years now, so we have some synergy. Okay, so here, Gwen is in a good position to take that turret, so we can try and gank her. While we're on the way there, though, I mean, we're not going to save the turret either way. And I know I melt the Scuttle Crab with the amount of DPS that I do at this stage of the game, so we just pick that up very quickly on the way. Let's also have some self-dealt pink ward. If he tried to rush over there by himself, he wouldn't be able to do much chest away from me either way. And should hopefully be a pretty free kill on her. Unfortunately, I have to get into melee range of a melee champion in order to take her out, but... So she chunks me out, but either way, I've got white, so it doesn't take me very long to kill her in return. And now we can just look to shove another wave, and we see at least Nami and Caitlyn, so yeah, pretty much everybody is bot side on their team, so these turrets are completely undefended. We're going to take advantage of that. We don't need to recall and try and like help the team or anything. No, they just have top lane completely undefended. That's a strategic mistake from them. We stick around to punish it. Help ourselves to another wave here. Got a lot of gold right now. I'm close to 10 CS per minute. And so much gold from turrets, because that's 2 inner turrets I've received so far. Gonna be a hook from Blitz. Can't quite finish killing that. I don't even know how that didn't hit her. I don't think I'm gonna be able to survive here, but we can try our best. I do have Storm Razor, so we can see. But yeah, probably was too aggressive trying to hit the Caitlyn. I say hit the Caitlyn, I mean trying to hook her at all. Probably couldn't really catch her. But okay, looks like I actually survived here. Awesome. And so here on this recall, because I'm so insanely ahead, I'm just going to opt for the shield bow. This is what I've been doing just any time that I'm really ahead. I don't feel the need to go for an attack speed item like Phantom Dancer on Aphelios when you're doing Storm Razor Rush. It just feels like you already have enough attack speed anyway, just because you get the extra 20% from Storm Razor. For me, that's enough alongside your points in W. So my final 2 items are always either or I should say my final crit item aside from, you know, Lord Dominic's or Storm Razor or Mortal Reminder is always going to be either Collector or Shield Bow. And when I'm really ahead, then I just go for Shield Bow, because, you know, the one thing you don't really get when you get fed as an ADC is tanky, but you do an insane amount of damage no matter what you build. So I'd rather, yeah, I wasn't really thinking there properly, was I? But for now, I'm alive at least. Maybe the Shield Bow even helped a little bit there, I'm not sure. Yeah, if you get really ahead as an ADC, like, you're gonna do plenty of damage. You don't need to maximize your damage from there. Whereas your survivability, like, it sounds like counterintuitive. I think most people, when they get really fed, they're like, yeah, I can afford to build full damage. Like, yeah, you can build full damage and you'll probably win. It's the most ideal time to build full damage for fun, but for effectiveness, that's actually when you would want to build just slightly defensive. Because if you do more damage than anybody in the enemy team, or your own team for that matter, but also you're really hard to take down as well, then that's just the best of both worlds. Whereas if you just build full damage, you know, it's only the best of one world. You were going to do plenty of damage anyway. A one-shot is a one-shot. So for some reason, this punk cast thinks it's a good idea to walk up to me. He is lucky he didn't just straight up die there. Manages to land the hook on Tanami. She gets one shot. Try and see what we can do here. I've got access to white if I can just use the blue Q. Sadly, I get burst down too hard to actually straight up ace them all. But either way, it's going to be my one death of the game. And the game is about to end with a pretty solid scoreline from me. So I say, yeah, I think we're good to just move on to the next game here. We don't need to see the victory screen. Alright, and so this game, the matchup is going to be Aphelios Jhin, or Aphelios versus Jhin, and Braum versus Rakan. We've got a lot of synergy with Braum. And the matchup aside from that is just okay. I don't think there's really any huge advantages in either direction. We'll just see how the game goes. Alright, so from here, both ball ends have killed both waves. This next wave is going to get us level 2. Jhin should be able to push waves faster than Aphelios, so we'll see what ends up happening though. For now, I mean, I feel like I'm just hitting the minions more than him, so you can see that leads to an early level 2 for us. Rakan, as far as I know, leveled Q, not this W, so you can't actually just escape here. So, it's the first trade of the game. I think I got screwed out of a green proc there for some reason, but it will. Anyway, first trade of the lane going pretty well for us, just because of that free level 2 advantage. All I had to do is just push for level 2. And the enemies just didn't do a good enough job of matching it. Alright, and so here we have an attempted engage from Braum. We have a solid HP advantage, so it would make a lot of sense to fight here. Able to get a Braum passive on the Rakan. I decided to flash off to the Rakan to try and finish him off. I wasn't sure if he would die just to the ignite. Still got Braum passive stacks on Jhin, so we keep trying to trade with him. I got barrier, he's got barrier. We just walk away, both surviving. But in the end, he ends up falling to Silas, so lucky for us. But either way, the bot lane fight clearly went better for us than for them. Anyway, we got enough gold for our BF sword here. Now we're going to start walking into lane. Maybe could have waited for a little bit more HP there. That's quite a bit of HP to be missing out on, but here you have Braum actually just going out of his way to do something most supports never do. Because you see, like, no matter what they do, they can't really kill him there. He's just too tanky. And look at the freeze that he created for me. He's just saved me so much farm with that. Yeah, I just wanted to highlight that because it's definitely something most support players could learn from. Okay, so we finished shoving in the wave there. Really want to start recalling now, mainly because Braum is missing a lot of HP and we've got some gold to spend on items, but they're going to try really hard to cancel our bases, or at least Braum's base. So we're going to try and turn into a fight. There is that in the river, is something to watch out for, but Aphelios is there as well. We might just be too busy fighting, but anyway, I've got white here, so no matter what else I've got, it's quite tough for them to beat, so ends up resulting in a kill on Rakan. Ideally, if they're going to fight me with white, they need to be focusing me, and they need to kill me or CC me pretty fast. If I just get the free hit the whole time with white, doesn't bode well for them. Alright, so here I'm just going to demonstrate a nice little trick. As you can see here, Jin's HP will just come on screen. I don't know if it's actually going to come on screen. Yeah, there it is. He's about 40% HP, so we know he kind of wants to recall, so we just stay here, because like either way, like if they step up here, we can very easily cheese them. But now we can guess Jin is probably recalling, because he really needs to recall, so we just wait a little bit. We just wait. And about now we decide, okay, if Jin was recalling, he's now finished his recall. So now we step out of the brush and just one-shot the wave as fast as we can. Now we just make sure Rakan doesn't get a freeze here. You know, I'm not even hitting the turret or anything. I'm literally just making sure Rakan doesn't get the freeze. Or at least scaring him off the freeze anyway. And now if I can just finish my recall here. Rakan definitely should have tried harder to cancel my base there, I feel like. But yeah, I got my base off. Got my Stormers and components. And yeah, just cheesed Jin out of... Oh, unfortunately Braum died. I don't know if maybe that was my fault or what. I wasn't paying attention at the time. I wasn't paying attention this time. But anyway, yeah, as far as the trick onto Jin goes, yeah, just a nice free way of costing the enemy to see like 6 CS. Maybe not 6, because they would lose farm either way, but you definitely get an advantage over them that way. You just wait for them to finish their recall, like you count it down in their head, in your head. And then when it's done, boom, you just kill the wave. Wave goes under turret, you get all the farm, they get none. So we have Braum going in for a little bit of a trade there. Probably a bit pointless, but anyway, my recall gets cancelled here. Rakan might just be about to face check into me, so I just go for a little trade onto him. Get back into Jin as well. I should have already been flashing away as soon as the Rakan started ulting, really, because it was really obvious that if I got hit by that, then I would be kind of doomed. Somehow it just kind of ends up working out. I didn't even know how I survived as long as I did. And then, oof, like if I just had vision of that brush, might have been able to kill Jin before his 4th shot went off. So, could have been better, but honestly can't complain. That was a pretty good outcome overall. Especially because, like I said, that started off with a really big mistake for me, just not flashing the Rakan RW. It's like really obvious he's going to go for that, and once I got hit by it, that was just massively chunked and it made the rest of the fight infinitely harder. Alright, so here we've got Silas and Akali on the way. Their Bolin just has to abandon this turret. They've also got some teammates on the way as well, though. I'm starting to walk over there, but they've also got a lot of farm to get here. I don't know if I'm just being a bit lazy here, but I suppose I can access the fight through here as well. I got teammates around, so they can't really turn on me, so I'm free to just damage these guys as much as I want. I don't know if overall going for that wave was the best choice, but I guess it worked out. So we're just going to keep pushing this. So at the moment, yeah, pretty much the only... Like, 2 people are dead, 1 person top lane. Their bot lanes have to recall, so we just keep on pushing this turret. Looks like it's probably just going to be another free turret. And whenever you can find an angle where you can just take these inner turrets, there's going to be a lot of free gold. I can't remember how much gold I had before taking this turret, but... It's now 2200 gold for me. And we can just also just squeeze in another wave here. Should be fairly safe. I'm sitting on tier 1 boots, but doesn't look like anybody's coming for me. And we've also got Braum protecting us as well. So I'm gonna get the recall here, and I imagine there should be Infinity Edge. Yep, perfect. So we're absolutely massive right now. And sitting on over 10 CS per minute right now, actually 10.5. Awesome. So we're walking up towards mid here, then we see this random ass brawl suddenly taking place near mid lane. Just get the land of free auto and Zed there. Probably don't want to chase into the Yone with this Q proc, so let's go for the farm instead. We can try and pressure him a little bit here though. Yeah, smart of him to flash. He certainly might have actually died there if that ult landed. Okay, so here I'm trying to hold on to blue because it could still be useful for a fight, so I'm not using that. I'm gets caught out here. Can try and do some free damage onto Mordekaiser through the wall here. And wow, I'm just doing so much damage. It's kind of awkward though here, having to navigate dodging Jin ult with the fact that I also don't have vision in that brush. We can use blue trinket, but as you can see, it was going to run out eventually. See what I can do about this Zed. Wow, that guy just got destroyed. Okay, so I've based, got some more items. I got my Berserkers, a Quick Cloak, a Longsword, so we're already really strong, now we're even stronger. Getting engaged on Barracan there though, into Mordecai's World. Fortunately I've got white, so we'll see what we can do with that. Probably shouldn't have even bothered with Sentry there, but either way, it doesn't really matter. I just get a lot of damage onto the Mordekaiser either way, because I'm so fed and I've got a weapon that's really good for melee range. We just end up taking him down. Little fight going on here, so we're gonna head on over. I use the plant this way, then it gets me extra movement speed as I walk through here. As he drops out of that ult, I can already just tell he's gonna get one shot. And I'm happy to just tank a shot or two for Akali there to make sure she doesn't go down. Now we should be able to pressure this turret since they're all pretty low, they kind of need the base. And for now we're probably gonna have to retreat. This might actually be a chase from them. Ooh, especially with that Jhin moving as fast as he does. So I just had out of vision. Didn't quite one-shot him, unfortunately. What I was going for. Kind of amazed that he survived. But anyway, we've got Stormers there. See if it's going to be enough to just hide away from this Mordekaiser. But I've rooted him down. I don't know when his Q is going to come back up. And I'm such a narrow corridor, it would be really hard to dodge. So, I just play like a pussy. I'm fine with that. And now, once again, we're really ahead, so I just go for this shield bow third item. Even if I was really fed, so long as they had a lot of armor, I would actually prioritize some kind of armor pen item. Or like if they had a lot of anti-heal, if they had a lot of healing, then I would prioritize anti-heal and armor pen through the Motor Reminder. But I think in all three of these games, I'm just incredibly ahead, and there's no real armor threat, so we'll just go for the shield bow in all three games. Also, I'm sure Salas doesn't mind me taking all of his camps like that. So it still lets me 10.5 CS a minute. Probably getting ulted there, see if there's anything we can do. Gotta be a little bit careful, there could be a Rakan ult. I guess me from the past was not respecting that, but me from the present certainly was. Almost gets me killed, but I mean, as you can see, yeah, with no shield bow there, I just die. And it's not like I'm liking damage for going shield bow over or Dominic's or Motor Reminder. Just a very underrated thing, I think. Whenever you're really fed, just throw in the shield bow. Just as long as you already have Infinity Edge. And as we base one more time, this time I'm able to pick up Motor Reminder. I don't think there's any particular reason I needed Motor Reminder over Lord Dominic's, but one thing I've started to think in this season is that Lord Dominic's has kind of swapped places with Motor Reminder, where this kind of sucks now. Like, it's expensive for no goddamn reason. In this particular case, I just went for Motor Reminder just because I could afford it, and I couldn't afford Lord Dominic's, and I think the Giant Slayer benefit of Lord Dominic's is just not really worth waiting for. So we just settle for Motor Reminder even though we don't need anti-heal. And honestly, Motor Reminder is just what I've been going for mostly. It's the same last season, like, Motor Reminder wasn't necessarily expensive, so I almost never went for it. Now it's the reverse, and I almost never go for Lord Dominic's. Anyway, wow, this is a messy fight. But it looks like we're good. If they're gonna try and defend this. I'm just trying to inflate my farm. Don't even have 11 CS per minute. And we managed to bait out that Rakan. W also bait out the Yone. Managed to bait it out again. Can I kill him in time? No. Oh well. GG, and let's move on to the third game. Okay, so if you've made it this far into the video, I'm going to tell you the story of just how much effort it actually took to bring this video to you. Especially this third game, because oh my god, it took so much more effort than it should have. So the first two games, I just played the game. Eventually, a week or two later, I decided to sit down, record the commentary over it, edit it. The third game, unfortunately, because I recorded 3 games back to back, somehow I just had mic issues randomly on the third game, and maybe I'll edit the clip of that into this point so you can see exactly what that sounded like, but I realized, oh man, no, I can't just put the whole third game like that, so I was gonna be like, okay, sorry guys, it's actually only gonna be 2 games in this video instead of 3. But as I was editing the video, I was like, you know, it would be really nice to sort out my mic issues, because sometimes this happens where the mic just sounds really off, really crackly. Other times it just cuts out entirely and I don't notice, and then I have a video with no audio at all. Well, no voice of mine anyway. So I was like, alright, let's try and fix this thing. And that was literally while I was editing the video, so I was just procrastinating actually finishing the video to try and fix my mic issue. So I went Googling. I was like, anybody with this mic, you have the same issue? And there was... apparently it's a common thing since a certain Windows 10 or Windows 11 update, where people, they just get this issue where the mic either cuts out or goes crackly or whatever. And sometimes even causes the PC to freeze, which matches my issues. So one of the fixes somebody found for them, at least, was to just install the drivers for Windows 7 and Windows 8 instead of Windows 10 and 11. So I was like, okay, I'll try that. So probably the crucial step I missed was that before you're meant to do that, you're meant to uninstall the drivers you already have for your mic. I missed that, because to be fair, in my defense, the guy in the video, he said that after he said to install the Windows 7 and 8 drivers. So as I'm watching the video and doing it step by step, he said to install this Windows 7 and 8 drivers, so I did it. And apparently what that does is your PC just says, oops, there was an error, we need to restart. And it just restarts without any confirmation or consent at all. Thankfully, that was the only issue. You might have thought this was going like, oh god, did his PC break or something? No, it just forced a restart. But my editing software does not just automatically save progress. And so I had already edited basically what was supposed to be the entire video, because I'd already edited the first 2 games before getting to the third one and realizing the audio was off. So I'd already edited all of that. And the video was basically done. But I just hadn't saved yet. And my PC restarted. And I realized, oh my god, not only did I lose the entire commentary that I recorded for the third game, I also lost like the 30-60 minutes of progress, or however long it took to edit that video. Probably more like 60 minutes. Because I just didn't save the progress before my PC randomly restarted. And so I am recording this now. This little bit of commentary here. I'm recording this like 3 or 4 days after I first started working on that video, because I was too tilted to re-edit the video or to re-edit the commentary. Now, thankfully, so I was not going to bother re-editing, or I was not going to bother re-commentating the third game, because as I was editing the video, I was like, oh, it's basically done. I'm just going to skip the third game. Now that it's 3 to 4 days after and I've relaxed, I've calmed down, gotten over it, shit happens, I'm like, okay, yeah, we can edit those first 2 games again, and while I'm at it, I don't mind redoing commentary for this third game. So we're about to go over the third game yet again. Now this little story does not add any value at all to this video. In fact, it's probably killing its retention. You guys are probably bored out of your minds. No, this is entertaining. I think you guys enjoy it. But the main purpose for this being here is, you know, even 3-4 days after, I needed to vent, guys. I needed my story to be heard. Because, oh my god. This should not have taken this long to get out this video. And it should not have taken this much effort from me, either. Alright, now, without any further ado, I'm actually literally just going to kill the recording here, temporarily, to check that my mic is actually working. And if it is, then we're going to continue commentating this game. Okay, so it does currently seem as though my mic is working. If it stops working, or at least stops working perfectly halfway through the video, not much I can do about that. But for now it's working. Also, this is probably also like unnecessary to explain, but some of you might appreciate the added context. So like I said, I paused the recording so I could check the previous recording and see whether my mic was working, and it was. So then I went... I obviously had to click on a different file for that, and now I've gone back into the previous file, the actual game, to show that. And I just have this particular brand of autism, probably, where I literally, before I could continue recording this, I had to try and find the exact frame of the previous recording that I was on to continue this recording from there. Now, there was absolutely no need for that. It adds no value to the video, but it just didn't feel right to me to continue not on more or less the exact same frame. Now, some people might say that's OCD. Trust me, I don't have OCD. Some tendencies maybe, but no, I think it's just autism. OCD definitely no. Autism, it gets harder and harder to deny by the day, let's put it that way. But anyway, I've already delayed enough, so let's finally get on with the game. So we start off with an invade here. Managed to catch a collie there. She starts W, so that's a good thing for my Volkas. Makes it a bit hard to catch her out here. Honestly, I probably could have done a better job of just like continuing to walk to the left. It's not like she was practically going to be able to escape to the right. I should have stayed as far to the left as I could have. Then maybe we could have forced the flash as well. But anyway, our J4 wants to invade here, so we're going to be a good boy and just help J4, even though, you know, this is season 16 where the minions spawn really early. So there's, you know, we're missing CS as we speak. But he wants to invade. I hope he got that. I didn't quite catch who got it. But we managed to force Vex out of our jungle, force her flash, catch Akali again. Well, we know she started W, so I don't know what the delay was. Is the cooldown that long that she didn't have it up yet? But anyway, she loses all of her HP after presumably having to TP into lane. So I don't know why I'm abandoning Nautilus there. That's probably my bad. Like, maybe we should have been popping the way that I am, but since he wasn't, I should have been backing him up. That was really stupid of me. We're lucky that he didn't just get screwed there. But obviously, yeah, I mean, this was my concern, is that some of them might have already been getting XP. So I don't know when they're hitting level 2, but I know they're hitting it before us. I didn't want to take a more aggressive pothing than necessary. But anyway, yeah, I mean, hopefully my jungler got an advantage from that. I don't know if he got that camp. Neither jungler hit level 2 from the first camp anyway. Neither one of them got the full camp. But he did have an HP advantage, I suppose. And we forced the Vex's flash. Actually, I think J4 recalled anyway as well, right? Yeah, he did, so. Oh well. But anyway. I did say in the chat at some point, if you notice, we're behind bot now. That wasn't me saying jungler. Fuck you. No, that was me more like pointing out, like, I probably would have also typed something else if I either had the time or could be bothered. Just, like, basically I was trying to indicate to my jungler, alright, I hope that helped you out. We're a little bit behind now, so if we can get any help whatsoever in this lane, that would be great. That was basically my intent. I didn't type out the full thing, but if I say something just a little bit like that, you know, and obviously the less judgmental your wording, the better. I would say mine was fairly neutral. You know, the more chances your jungler might remember that and be like, oh yeah, I should probably help them out. But anyway, so the matchup itself, let's cover it. It's Aphelios versus Yunara and Nautilus into Senna. So Aphelios into Yunara is about an even matchup. Yunara is quite good into melees, so she's pretty decent into Nautilus. So that's something the matchup has going against us. That being said, Nautilus is also really good into Senna. Senna doesn't deal too well with hard engage. As we're going to see here, there's a hard engage. We already blew the Senna's flash level 1, remember? So, layering of the CCs there. I don't think J4 intentionally let me have that kill, but I still got the kill, so amazing. For the record, he absolutely should have let me have that kill. Not just because I blew my level 1, helping him out. You know, it's just kill on Aphelios versus a kill on J4. You know, huge difference in value there. You would much rather have the kill on Aphelios. It's just an ADC in general. It's always going to have more impact, whether it's early game or late game or whatever. But anyway, I did get the kill, and even if I didn't, obviously can't complain. That would be a tremendous help to my lane. Way better for my lane than if we, you know, than the detriment that we got from the level 1. So anyway, I was also saving up for BF Sword here, the reason why I didn't start pushing immediately. You can do that if you just don't want to recall because you want to keep on pressing the enemies. But in this particular case, I did know that I wanted to recall and spend all my gold. We might be going aggressive onto Senna here again. I guess we do something to her here. Without... Yeah, okay, we actually got a kill there. I forgot about that, even though this is actually my 3rd time seeing this game. Honestly, I feel like from my perspective, at least because I didn't even notice the J4 coming back, I probably should have just not cancelled my base, because it didn't feel too likely that as 2 we could kill Senna there. But anyway, thanks to me landing the purple Q, we do manage to land a bunch of CCs, and thanks to the J4 appearing again, we do actually end up getting a kill. This time with the Nautilus, but still. Yeah, lane going tremendously well at the moment. Obviously, I can't take full credit for that. It's mostly on the fact that the G4 has been helping us out a lot here, and of course the Nautilus of course my duo is very cracked. Which I'm never going to type out in chat again because he's going to screenshot it. Anyway, we catch another hook onto the Senna. Perfect. Just another kill. Yeah, like I said, like Nautilus into Senna is not a great matchup for Senna, and especially the more ahead we get, the more that just is going to outweigh anything else in this matchup. Now we got J4 back on the way again. Managed to get a plating. I can try and get a little trade onto the Yunara there, get her as low as possible. If there's going to be any kind of dive, it would maximize the odds of that dive succeeding. So, trying to get that trade. Couldn't find it though. And instead of the dive, we may just end up going for the Drake instead, because now Senna's here. Bit optimistic to try and go for that 3v2 dive. No need to risk throwing a lane like that. And so we were initially rotating for this Drake, and then we saw the mid lane fight. We just started rotating towards mid, just in case we could influence that fight. And then there was a jungle fight, so we keep on rotating for that. And now that we just happen to be so near mid lane, so Volkos doesn't quite get what I'm doing here, but Nautilus does have the right idea, and he now tells Volkos to TP bot. But basically, because I just saw Akali have to recall, I know that if I shove this wave into this turret, I not only get to hit the turret plating undefended if I wanted to, and instead I just go to the server fight, I also shove in that wave, and she cannot possibly catch that wave. Could Volkos catch the bot lane wave though? Yes, because he had TP. I know for a fact Volkos can, and not even just TP, like they weren't shoving in the bot lane wave as hard as I could shove in the mid lane wave. So I know for a fact that me catching that mid wave, maybe it amplifies my CS if I can maybe just get mid CS and also some bot lane CS, although most likely I'm just trading waves with Volkos. But at the very least, I'm literally just denying CS from Akali. I just noticed this opportunity to get a tiny advantage, deny a tiny bit of CS from the Akali, and I took it. That's something you can do as an ADC sometimes, is just rotate mid. Like a lot of the time, you know, you don't walk all the way from bot lane to mid lane just with that intent. But it's more like if you already found yourself in the river anyway, and that sort of opportunity presents itself, you know, you're not going to really notice the impact because it's not even your lane opponent you're sitting behind. But it is just a small trick that can, you know, in the long run, boost your win rate a little bit. But anyway, there's going to be another fight in the jungle, our jungle this time. So because I'm just getting to freely shove in these waves, I just get to keep rotating over through all this stuff. And unfortunately I run into Akali, so I need to try and dodge her E here, thankfully. Well, I didn't dodge it, but managed not to get hit by it. Now you can imagine if I actually got hit by her E here, I probably would have been fucked. I completely wasted my barrier there. But oh well. Once again, I didn't get the kill, which is sad, but also I'm 2-0 and 3 Aphelios, pretty decent CS. I am not complaining. Yeah, so the lane has been pretty dead for, I don't know, last couple of minutes at least. Nautilus was roaming. I believe, I don't know if I know that there's a sun in that brush or if I'm just suspecting, but yeah, I mean, there was a sun in that brush. And so I'm just getting bullied a little bit right now. Honestly, me going for that melee, greedy. But I might end up actually bidding the Senna, except, yeah. My duo, like I said, he's very, very aggressive, and actually gonna go for another engage. I'm barely out of range to follow up with anything but ult, so I go for the ult, which forces the Senna flash. Can fight Yunara a little bit with my sentry there. Now, unfortunately, I have Triumph, so I actually almost very nearly lived there. So, yeah, I mean, I could have flashed away from the Senna auto, and then I probably, you know, I would have lived. Not only because I would have time to get the Triumph field, but also the landing blow, the finishing blow never would have landed in the first place. Nice freeze from Nautilus there, by the way. Take notes, any support players. Yeah, kind of unfortunate. I almost got to survive that without even needing to flash. Not unless Senna was going to flash on top of me. But, you know, at least then it's flash for flash. But regardless, it wasn't that bad a fight. I don't think I was even worth a shutdown, was I? Maybe I was. Not super sure. But anyway. There's about to be another engage here as Nautilus lands a hook directly onto Yunara. So we follow up with the green auto first, because I was like, alright, the first thing I can get into range with, besides a green Q, which I don't want to throw green Q because it's going to stop me in my tracks before I'm in range to actually follow up with anything else. So I'd rather land a green Q, like, green auto. Because green Q is like the longest range thing in your kit, you'd rather not lead with it, at least sometimes, just because if there's one thing that you can land after they get away, it's going to be green Q. So you'd rather try and land the shorter range stuff first. That's why we go for the green auto. The moment we're in range for that, we go with that. And then I lead with a blue Q, because if she flashes away or something, As long as I attack that blue Q, I land a lot of free damage, which is exactly what happened. Nothing much ends up happening, just forces Inara flash and ults. But how I played that fight I think is worth noting. There might be another fight here, we'll see. Well, not so much if the Vel'Koz just forces the Rek'Sai away like that, but that's good. It'll be a Malphite TP, I get the loss on the Drake. Nice for me, 75 gold. Fortunately, it doesn't look like the Malphite TP will lead to much. Unless we can actually force a dive here, so we see Nautilus, Malphite position for the dive, so we're just gonna shove this, see what happens. Probably for the best I just let some... honestly, it's fine for me to take aggro, because I can drop the aggro so fast as a range champion. But my teammates are so tanky, I prefer to let one of them take the aggro. Now I know for a fact I'm going to mess up somewhere here, so we use blue key. I didn't mean to take all that threat damage as well. And somewhere there, so I meant to land a red ult on Akali. So at some point I pressed W and no swap happened. That might be because I was in my purple Q animation maybe? Or was I in my swap animation? You know, maybe I tried to swap when I was in... swapping from blue to... Nah, that wouldn't have been the time. I don't know. At some point, yeah, I just tried to swap the red. Didn't happen, so I ended up using the wrong ult. Kind of unfortunate because you can see Rek'Sai ended up dying so fast after killing me. I actually would have just simply lived if I got that red ult healing. So, kind of unfortunate. This is me just looking at the replay, trying to figure out what went wrong. Why didn't my swap go through? Yeah, I think it was the purple Q. I think it was. Unfortunately, you can't queue a swap to go off after your purple Q. Or at the very least, you can cancel it with right clicks. I'm not sure which is the case, but either way, I'm not just gonna swap and not have any other inputs, so... Unfortunately got me killed there, and I almost died trying to follow up this engage on Akali. Unfortunately, her stealth buys her a lot of time to land a lot of damage to me before I can finish her off, but because I'm really ahead and she also happens to be really behind, I believe she's 2-5. I didn't even check this time, I just remembered it from my last time recording this commentary that she was 2-5 at this time. So yeah, able to kill her off anyway. And I ended up quite low HP, but I have a lot of healing at this point because I have red. And I also have a lot of bloodline stacks. Bloodline buff from a while back, by the way, actually had a way more impact than I realized. So I got quite a bit of sustain. Like the way I'm practically almost full HP already, I actually had to double check, like did I have an Ocean Drake or something? No, it's literally just how much you can heal at this stage of the game these days as an ADC, especially as Aphelios when you have red. So don't even end up having to recall. Oh, and if you noticed anything weird about my skilling order here, I can't even remember what I was doing, to be honest. I think maybe it was something like 4 points Q. Well, I start W level 1. So W level 1, 3 to 4 points Q, then 3 points in E maybe. Then I start maxing W. Not necessarily because of the lethality nerf, although that certainly makes me more confident about the skilling order. Not that I'm super confident in it. It's just something I'm testing. That's why I didn't want to go super in-depth into it. I think I've been doing it in all 3 games. But basically, my only reasoning is... in terms of, like, crit DPS, the stat that scales hardest with crit, you know, certainly, at least in terms of DPS, is W. And so, by the time I'm going to have Infinity Edge at 2 items, it would be nice to have a fully maxed W, or at least rapidly approaching that. Ooh, an engage on Inara, see what we can do with that. Nice. And able to pick up a kill on Senna there as well. Maybe even a kill on Zaheen here. What a series of mistakes from them. That guy almost survives. I think I was not critting for a while there, but all good. So, you might be wondering about my execution on the Inara kill. Why did I go for purple ult there instead of white? So my reasoning for that was... And you might not even be thinking about that. You might not worry about this kind of stuff to this extent. But like, if you want to improve at the game, you need to think about these small things to this extent. You know, you need to be a perfectionist. So why did I go for the green ult instead of the white ult? Well, white ult is a lot better in extended fights. And even though I obviously didn't need any like super high range to kill the Inara there. Like if she was gonna flash away or something, then certainly landing a green ult over a white ult could be really helpful for finishing her off. But the main thing is, you know, she was dying so fast, I knew that I did not need white ult. White is good for extended fights, but unless randomly Rek'Sai just popped in out of nowhere, and Zaheen out of nowhere as well, that fight was not an extended fight. I did not need the DPS from white to kill anyone there. So because I knew that white was not needed, as much as I didn't think green was needed either, if Yunara happened to flash away, that was the one world where green could actually be needed. So I went for the green ult for that reason, and yeah, she did end up flashing away, so against Yunara, it literally did not matter which ult I used. She was dead either way. Then by pure chance, this wasn't even part of my reasoning, but by pure chance, Senna actually got hit by my ult as well, which I was literally only aiming for Yunara. That was not part of my plan. We're going to rotate towards this fight here, but I should have probably just been with my team. There's a chance we catch our Rex either, but yeah, anyway, me hitting Senna with my ult, literally not even something I thought might have been a possibility. Was not part of my reasoning at all. Malphite, by the way, here is going to go for the farm. I'm not going to share a farm with him. I'm just going to join my team. I don't know if there's anything to do, but like, since I'm not going to get much farm there anyway, I'm just going to join my team. Be with my supporter, my jungler, just ready to enable any play they might start. Now, a lot of the times I would prioritize farm over that, especially because there doesn't seem to be any enemies around them. But again, I was losing all that farm to Malphite anyway, or at least a decent chunk of it. I thought just grouping with the team was going to be more productive at that point. Yeah, anyway, sorry, this breakdown of the Yunara Senna kill taking a while. But I think I've pretty much covered it now. So we're just going for the enemy camps here. There was some mid farm we could have gone for. Then we kill Akali here. Yeah, somehow she gets revealed exactly as she gets knocked up, so that's perfect. Yeah, so I can go for the mid farm there, obviously. Not right now, obviously now I can, but before I could have gone for the mid farm. But it's much more valuable to just deny farm from J4. I'm really fucking up the execution on that, by the way, and I fuck it up again. I could have just autoed her. What the hell was I thinking? But anyway. Yeah, since I see the opportunity, you know, we've already bullied Rex out of her jungle. We have the numbers advantage. So I can just go for the Grump. And then if afterwards I could rotate mid and also pick up some mid lane farm, that would have been great. Instead, J4 just had nothing else to farm except mid, so he farmed mid. That's fine. I don't care. Like, I'm getting my source of farm, the Grump, which I'm also denying from Rek'Sai, which makes it double valuable. You know, compared to a minion wave, that's like if you could steal the enemy minion waves. You know, just stealing camps, whoever you are, whether you're the ADC or your jungler, it's just immensely valuable. Unfortunately, we can't get Zahid in there. I was thinking maybe with my Stormers I could chase him down, but no, obviously don't want to dive. And God, this is already taking so much longer, the commentary, than it did the last time. I'm actually putting a lot more effort into it this time, for whatever reason. But yeah, getting used on by Akali there. I definitely remember messing up. I was a bit distracted as this started, but I definitely played this a little bit too aggressively, I suppose. It looked fine at the time, like I wouldn't have expected Akali to engage there. Maybe I could have tried to run away better. I think, yeah, if there's one thing I'm definitely fucked up there, it's not just popping away from the Akali W. I think maybe I did not realize quite how much danger I was in. But also my sentry was also a very aggressive usage. I just didn't expect Akali to go in. But I guess she had teammates around, which I didn't notice. But again, if I just walked away from the Akali Shroud, her teammates would not have mattered anyway. Don't mind me just dropping a little compliment to the Malphite there, because yeah, 8-0 on 6, he's a morbid beast if I've ever seen one. And yeah, once again, I think I've covered this in the other two commentaries. We're going for the shield bow. Again, I'm just very fed. In every single one of these games, I got very fed. Not just in, like, there's also a lot of pop-offs games I had, maybe 3 or 4 more, that I'm just not gonna cover in this video. Maybe I'll upload them eventually, although it's not a priority, but because, yeah, I had this streak of duoing with this Nautilus. I'm not doing it on my main account. I'm gonna leave my main account, you know, Vapora Dark, as a solo-only account, and then ADC Demon. I don't care if it's solo or duo, or if it's solo and duo. Yeah, I've been duoing with him so far every game on this account, and man, my Aphelios stats are just fucking insane. Literally, I think every single game I've done that reached 3rd item, every single time the 3rd item was shield bow, just because I got so ridiculously fed in every game, and yeah, I have to credit my duo for that a lot. He is a beast. I want to say our win rate together isn't even that amazing, like especially, well, when we smurf it is, but at like, you know, mid-diamond plus MMR, you would think I would do a lot better. Because this guy is also like 400 LP master, right, at his peak. I don't know what he is right now, because he took a long break, but like, this guy is amazing. But when we duo, I get the same results with him in high diamond and master as if I just play solo, which, I don't know. Maybe that just means Riot is penalizing duo too much, maybe I just enable him a little bit too much with his aggressive playstyle by being so familiar with it. I don't know, but certainly I'd never get as fed when I play alone as I do when I play with him. That guy is nuts, and aggression is completely the name of his game. So yeah, every single one of these games we go for the shield bow 3rd. And yet, recalling for that crit cloak, definitely super worth, especially, you know, especially this season. I mean, actually, crit cloaks in general are not that bad anymore. But especially after Infinity Edge, crit cloaks are a huge power spike, every single one. Post Infinity Edge, your crit scaling is amazing. It already was the case last season, but especially this season, you get, like, I think 10% extra crit damage compared to the previous season. And yeah, that really adds up, especially the more AD you have and the more attack speed. Okay, so low fight on the bot lane there. We're gonna start rotating over, see what we can do. So I believe Akali used her W, which is already very good news for this fight. They should really be running. Even if they don't have vision of us, we left mid lane. They should know we can collapse, but I suppose they were distracted with the fight. I feel like that was a very unnecessary ult. But let's see if... Okay, unfortunately her shroud came back up. I hit her with my ult. I don't think I hit her with the blue Q. But regardless, as long as she doesn't have ult, I'm just way too fed. I have shield bow. I didn't need it there. Honestly, it made my chances of dying there 0, but I don't think I needed it for the Yunara either. I used my barrier there, but honestly, even that was completely overkill as well. Yeah, just a nice little quadra from me. Honestly, that was mostly just set up from my team. The enemies being gankable there was entirely on the fact that they took a fight with my team, which, yeah, maybe not a terrible fight because, you know, they did win it, but also, you know, we could collapse after and they didn't seem to notice that part. Even if they did try and run, we might have still at least got one of them. Aside from that, though, the Yunara, not a chance of killing me. Rek'Sai, not a chance of killing me. You know, that's just me being too fed. Oh, okay, here's the stupid thing. Team, I must confess, I'm not really that good. Aphelios is just broken, and wait for it. I buy my Lord Dominic's, which I could afford, so I just went for it, even though I think Mortal Reminder is generally better. And my support is cracked. Okay, so it actually was in the third game that this happened, so you missed the context from my previous joke. But the joke is that I was bantering with him on a Discord, on our, like, Flex team Discord, although I don't play Flex anymore, but I'm still there. Still like bantering. So I made a joke about calling him bad or something. And then he just posted the screenshot, and I was like, of course you fucking screenshot that, you cringer. They can't ever say anything nice about him, but my guys. My bad guys is what I meant to say. But anyway, sorry, let's get back to the game. But anyway, yeah, obviously I'm a 4 out of my fellows here. I'm brutally efficient. Sure, but I'm also just brutally powerful. Gonna be another fight here, so... Akali out of her shroud, I realized right there I was about to be rooted and I was just barely outside of auto attack range of Akali. I'm in danger somewhat either way, no matter what. So if I'm gonna be in danger either way, I'd rather get rooted in Akali's range so I can like, at least hit her. Failed kill steal there, but oh well. And yeah, this is obviously gonna be the end of this game. And yeah, so the previous recording, unedited, was 20 minutes. This one is already 25. And I can already tell this is going to be not very much stuff to cut out, so... this is definitely going to be the most in-depth of the 3 commentaries, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.